Hello there, I'm here to talk to you today, or tonight, about my part 2 of Mars. Now, I'm here to tell you about why Mars is not a colonizable planet, and why we should be avoiding going to Mars. Now, again, as I stated in my last video, if you haven't checked out my last video, please go do that. It's an okay video. I don't suggest it being a good video. It's my first few videos. And in getting to the point, Mars is a desolate planet with a very thin atmosphere and no magnetic field whatsoever, which means you're still getting the radiation that the sun gives out. Now, the Earth is protecting us with its own magnetic field, a very large one at that. And a lot of other planets don't have this, but Venus does as well. Venus has this magnetic field, and they also have a very thick atmosphere. Now, and they're also closer to us, which will make it easier for us to get there in a short amount of time, which means less radiation for the astronauts, or explorers, or colonizers. Now, Venus is not only the best, one of the best candidates. There are other ones like Jupiter's moons and Saturn's moons, maybe even Neptune's moons, but too far away. But Jupiter's moons have been shown to have possibilities of water, along with Saturn's moons. Also, one of Saturn's moons, or Jupiter's moons, has water on it and possibility of life. It's very deep. They have very deep waters, hundreds of miles deep, and very dense. So much pressure. It's more pressure than we've ever seen on the Earth. More pressure than we ever will see on the Earth. Now, Venus may not be the best candidate anymore. I'd like to consider it one of the best candidates because of its closest to us, nice atmosphere in the upper parts, which are kind of Earth-like if we add oxygen, and it's less radiation for astronauts and other things. But as we all know, the sun is expanding, and in about a few billion years, Venus may be engulfed, and it'll be very hot, and with that atmosphere, temperatures will rise to thousands of degrees, making it the hottest planet in the solar system, which it already is at almost 800 degrees. And the reason why I say Jupiter's moons are good, because they're in close proximity to each other, which means that there's less travel time. Second of all, Jupiter does have a magnetic field, protect the astronauts from radiation from the sun. Although the trip to Jupiter is a long while, we already have a lot of knowledge about Jupiter. And the asteroid belt is close by, so collecting minerals from the asteroid belt is a perfect solution to that issue on resources. Water will be abundant in those two systems, and setting up bases should be easy. Yes, accessibility of water, rockets made from water fuel. Yes, water fuel is coming to is the future. We'll be able to launch, or H2O fuel, hydrogen and oxidizer, something around there. And why I say this is because you may think, oh, well, TJ, Mars is the best place to go. It's relatively close. It's got a thin atmosphere, but it's got a similar gravity, and it's relatively Earth-like-ish. Has water on the caps. I don't think so, but no. Gravity on Mars is around 0.3%, or 0.3 of Earth's gravity. 30% around 37% of Earth's gravity. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Now, Venus has almost the exact same mass as Earth, which means it has almost the exact same gravity. And as you might be thinking, the higher you go, the less gravity you experience. That is not true. As in the space station, what's happening is as it's orbiting, what it's doing is it's falling, but it's moving sideways too quick. So it's just falling over the horizon. And on Venus, that would not, yeah, take that out. And Earth, you're just falling over the edge. Well, you technically will not be orbiting Venus if you're trying to colonize it. You don't want to orbit it if you're trying to collect the resources and other things from the surface and live in the atmosphere. Again, living in the atmosphere of Venus is the best option. Now, again, back to Jupiter's moons. Close proximity. Lower gravity, though. That's the issue. Lower gravity. It'll have a profound effect on the human body. And Mars has a relatively medium gravity. Definitely not enough to sustain humans, though. That's why Venus comes in as a good candidate. Because it has good gravity that can sustain the human body and keep it in positive function. Now, Saturn's moons and other things. Not to mention, going to the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, that's pretty cool sight. And back to the thing is, we know a lot about the Jupiter and Saturn systems. We sent 2 probes there. Juno is still orbiting Jupiter, and Cassini has just ended its life last year in Saturn's atmosphere. RIP Cassini. Now, over those decades that we have sent those probes there, we have learned a lot about the system, and we have developed a lot of knowledge about that. We have sent multiple probes to places like Titan, and Titan is a profoundly good candidate. The amount of possible fuel in the form of methane is amazing. It's like Earth's oceans, but methane. And this would be good for resupplying other colonies around. And Titan has a thick atmosphere. Not as thick as Earth's, but a thick atmosphere. Again, mostly methane in the atmosphere. And Titan would be a good outpost. Space station set up around there, and launch yourself to other points. Now, the cost of these things would be expensive, but with the way where we're starting to reuse rockets, we could make this possible. Again, SpaceX has just reduced, with their BFR, they could reduce the cost of a launch to below the cost of the Falcon 1 launch, which is below $5 million. That's cheap. And that, in SpaceX's BFR recovers both stages. And Blue Origin, getting out there as a tourist company, as they are currently competing as in touristability. SpaceX is going around the moon this year, and I believe tourists could start going to other planets as we send exploration teams, men, and other people around there, scientists, things like that. I see a future of something like Aurora 4X. I don't know if you've ever heard of the game. It's kind of sparse, but it's a space strategy game where you're living in a kind of future. Earth has annihilated most of itself, and there's a few 100 million people living on it. And you've just discovered really new and resources that can make your ships go really fast, like one kilometer to 3,000 in a second. Now, I don't say we're gonna discover things like this, but the future holds a future like this. Mass drivers, things that are sending packets of material to and from colonies to Earth, and Earth to colonies, supplying them like that. and ships that go pretty fast don't have to use orbital mechanics to get to their system. And I see a future like that. Definitely not in our lifetime, though. We are not developing fast enough. And I do see the first Mars mission happening in the 2030s, not the 2020s, like SpaceX is estimated. I do not believe that's going to happen. And I would like to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you already haven't. Thank you, and have a nice day.